Let's call this to order. Wednesday, October 13th. Let's see what time it is. We are at 6:31 p.m. We'll call to order the Affordable Housing Trust meeting. First order of business. Can you guys still hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Has everyone had a chance to review the meeting minutes from September 15th?
Yes.
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 Okay.
I will make a motion to approve those minutes.
I'll second it.
I'm sorry, the second was who?
Amy. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Hi.
Yeah.
And then we have to do roll call. You state your last name and yes. So Nikki.
Yeah. Dostumian, yes.
Thank you. Amy.
Rodriguez, yes.
Thank you. Jen.
Stacy, yes.
Thank you. Chrisanne.
Sheedy, yes.
Thank you. Sam.
Hill, yes.
Thank you. Stephanie is still not here. And Ernzo.
Stephen, yes.
Thank you. Perfect. Thanks.
Okay, so the next is we're going to be discussing the housing production plan update and regarding our next Wednesday's public input meeting.
Yeah, thank you.
Sorry.
I sent out to everybody the email invite that I sent out to all the board and commission and committee chairs and their staff supports, asking them to share with their boards and commissions. I also sent it to Dr. Cabral at the school department, asked her to share it around. The Housing Authority, of course, was copied on that.
You already forwarded it.
Oh, thank you. Great. Wonderful. Awesome. Rock on. I had a brief conversation with Lori Muncy from OCPC, and you may remember from the previous meeting, she was fully booked today and was skeptical that she'd be able to join us tonight, and so she's not here. Her plan for the meeting is it's going to be virtual, of course. At that Zoom link, you have to click in and register, and then you immediately get an email with the link to the meeting. So her plan for the meeting is to just give sort of an overview of the housing production plan and process, maybe a little bit of where Easton's at the moment, and then really open it up for questions and answers and to get public input from the folks who were able to attend. And as she had said in our startup meeting last month, a big component of the public input is going to be a detailed questionnaire or survey that, of course, will be available to people who are both at this meeting and can be shared to all the folks who won't be able to actually make it. And that likely will be the thing that gets a lot of useful feedback, perspective about the needs and concerns and such for the folks in Easton for housing planning in the next several years. So I guess what I'd sort of like to chat about briefly tonight is are there other significant stakeholders that you think we should make sure that we forward this invitation to, and ask you to also share it with folks in your social network, people in town who might have an interest in the public meeting, and also once the survey is available, share it with them. So do you have any thoughts on other stakeholders we should invite, or points we should try to hit at this public meeting, and or maybe work with Lori to see if they're incorporated in the survey? I think she knows her stuff, and I suspect once we see the draft survey, it'll be pretty good. But if people have thoughts on that, anyone else to invite that I didn't already cover?
Any local developers?
Maybe share with your contacts. I could maybe forward it to the developers, a couple of developers who are working on some projects. Cool thought.
Realtors, local developers.
Yeah.
I was going to say realtors. any veterans agents, or would that be, do we have any kind of veterans organization in the?
We have
in Easton?
Corey Ahonen, who's the
Yeah,
town
is he
veteran.
the agent? Yeah,
He is, yeah.
but he would have gotten the,
I believe so, and I can double check. Yeah.
And all the other boards and commissions have already gotten it. The schools got it.
Correct, yeah. And actually, right this red hot minute, I just got an email from Dr. Cabral asking if share with all the families or representatives, staff members. Yeah, I can probably get back to her after I check with Stephanie tomorrow. Yeah, okay, sorry, got a little distracted. Yeah, so developers, realtors, make sure the veterans agent is included. If folks have contacts at some of the service organizations, like Lions Club and so forth, if you wanted to share it with them, that could be helpful. And like I said, I suspect a lot of folks won't really be able to show up at the meeting itself, but their responses to a survey could be really illuminating and helpful.
It have to be Easton? Like, do we
Well,
send?
mostly yes.
Habitat?
I mean, obviously, folks who work in Easton, including developers and so forth, wouldn't necessarily have to be residents, but it's I think meant to be mostly the people of Easton and what their sort of housing goals or needs would be. So
Kind of like the Habitat for Humanity. I mean,
Yeah.
people that we've just recently done things with.
yeah. Cool. Thank you. And did folks have a chance to look at the invite? Did it seem fairly accurate and something that you could just forward on to your social network and stuff? I tried to keep it kind of simple and focused and let people know what they needed to do near the top. Cool, thank you.
Haven't looked at it yet.
Thank you for your honesty. Okay. And yeah, if folks have thoughts or suggestions for the public meeting itself, and they're not coming to you right now, give me a jingle or shoot me an email, and we can try to work those in. And as we know, since it was so difficult actually finding a consultant to do the work, we have a fairly compressed timeline to actually get this done by the deadline. But we're hoping we can have a reasonably robust public engagement, public input process with the meeting and with the survey. Does anyone else have any thoughts on the public meeting or planning for it? I'm sorry, Nikki, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, sorry, I got cut off for a couple of seconds, but I'm back. I don't know if anybody called on me, but
No, we did not.
okay, good.
Yeah, I was just saying that if,
I was cut out for just a minute.
folks, have any further thoughts about things to include in the public meeting next Wednesday, let me know. Call me or shoot me an email. I can try to work with Lori to try and fit that in. And do people have anything else about the public meeting on the 20th? I'm sort of mindful of folks needing to move on tonight. Yeah, great. Thank you. Love it. And then the next item I think on the agenda, that's all we've really had. And I was talking with Nikki earlier, and the CPA funding applications are coming up in the next couple of months, so they can get to the select board and then to a town meeting for May of this coming year. And excuse me, since we don't actually have the action plan and budget for specific projects, we're thinking we would apply for what we did this past year, the 10% set aside for community housing. Last year, that was $177,500. It may be a bit larger this year, the 10% set aside, depending on what the budget is back from the state. But we currently have about 730,000 in the Affordable Housing Trust, distributed among various accounts, with no significant asks or projects on the immediate horizon. We have an applicant for the first-time home buyer grant program. She's been determined eligible. She's looking for a property. We have this housing production plan cost of 30 grand, but otherwise we don't have anything significant. So if no one has other comments, I think we'll just apply for whatever that 10% is.
I still like that round number of 200,000 that we spoke of.
We could. I also don't want to make it something that turns into a topic of sort of a long conversation with CPC about what we're doing, since we don't actually have solid projects right now. And we've got a goodly amount in our reserves.
That's sensible, yes. I always like going for the gusto.
And I'm thinking, once we get sort of the action plan and some defined projects, then we can have more assertive requests.
We got a couple things in the wings.
And they're actually kind of fully funded with what we have right now.
I appreciate that, Chris Ann. I do. I always think it's better to ask for more than what we're planning on asking. But I agree with Wayne on the point of once we get this action plan in, we'll have a better leg to stand on to be requesting more. Probably just the safer route to go at this point.
Okay, fine with me. Do you need a motion?
I don't think so. Town council actually once said, when in doubt, take a vote. I think we don't actually need, but could I have a motion and a second for the Affordable Housing Trust to apply for the 10% community housing CPA? How do I want to word that? For the 10% community housing reserve.
Appropriation or reserve?
Appropriation from.
Appropriation?
Yes.
So moved.
Okay,
Thank you.
I'll second it.
Okay. And the same order we did last time, if people remember, state your last name. So this is a test. Nikki?
Did you get me? I'm sorry. Dostumian, yes.
Thank you.
I apologize.
No worries, Amy.
Rodriguez, yes.
Thanks very much. Sorry, Jen.
ACS.
Thanks. And Chris Ann.
BDS.
Thank you. And Sam.
Hill, yes.
And Stone, Stephanie, and Enzo.
Stephen, yes.
Awesome, thank you. So that's all we have on the agenda. And we try not to have too many things that aren't actually on the agenda in a meeting. Nikki, do you think that covers it? Are we sort of good and we'll just see each other next
Next Wednesday.
Yeah, I'm going to post it as a Affordable Housing Trust meeting. We're not actually going to be deliberating, but this way we'll just get it on the calendar and make sure we're covered for that.
Perfect.
Okay, I guess so. What motion?
Okay, I appreciate.
Second?
I apologize.
Oh, no worries, no worries. We're just glad you can make it.
Okay, well, I'll make the motion to adjourn.
Second.
Thank you.
Dostumian, yes.
Thank you.
Rodriguez, yes.
Stacy, yes.
Sheedy, yes.
Hill, yes.
Stephen, yes.
You guys are great. Thank you.
Fastest meeting ever.
I love it. I love it. Okay, meeting
Thank
adjourned,
you.
6:46.
Thanks, guys.
Everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you,
See you
everyone.
next week.
Bye.
Have a great evening.
Bye,
Thanks
you
for your
too.
time.
Good, thanks.